Coming up next, Republican candidates for president battle it out in the latest debate as election year approaches.
This is the fourth debate that you would be voted in the first 20 minutes as the most obnoxious blowhard in America. So shut up for a little while.
Plus, some local small businesses will soon be getting some extra financial help.
We could use new awnings for the front of the store and a new front sign.
And a popular annual holiday tradition returns to Bellefonte this weekend. The Center County Report starts now. Good afternoon, I'm Cameron Lobley.
And I'm Olivia Dunn. Thank you for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story, new developments in the Israel-Hamas war, with the conflict now in its third month. The Israeli military hit targets in southern Gaza today as the UN warned there are no safe places left in the territory. The UN says more than 80% of Gaza's population has been driven from their homes during the war. Meantime, the U.S. and Israel are at odds over visions for a post-war Gaza. Israel wants to retain an open-ended security presence there, but U.S. officials say they will not allow Israel to reoccupy Gaza or shrink the territory. And funding to the Israel conflict and its war effort is just one topic of discussion among politicians with the looming 2024 presidential election. Our Jacob Schnurr is live in the studio with more details on this week's Republican debate. Jacob?
Olivia, it won't be long till the first presidential primaries and caucuses. They're starting next month already. Voters had a chance to see some of the Republican candidates debate this week in Alabama, but one big name wasn't there: Donald Trump.
Even with the leading candidate absent, Trump was still a focal point in this debate. Former Governor of New Jersey Chris Christie has made a point of criticizing Trump when his fellow candidates won't.
You want to know why those poll numbers are where they are? Because folks like these three guys on the stage make it seem like his conduct is acceptable.
While Trump is no stranger to stirring the pot, things still got heated without him.
You would be voted in the first 20 minutes as the most obnoxious blowhard in America.
For much of the debate, former Governor of South Carolina Nikki Haley was the subject of criticism. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was at the forefront and did not hold back.
You have other candidates up here like Nikki Haley. She caves anytime the left comes after her, anytime the media comes after her.
DeSantis was not the only one to go at Haley. Vivek Ramaswamy also had some choice words for his fellow candidate and even added a visual aid.
You don't have a woman problem, you have a corruption problem. And I think that's what people need to know. Nikki is corrupt.
There will be two more Republican debates coming next month in Iowa and New Hampshire.
The first presidential primary voting starts January 15th with the Iowa caucuses and then January 23rd with the New Hampshire primary. I'm Jacob Schnurr reporting. Cameron, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Jacob. Now to more political news. Longtime Republican Pennsylvania Congressman Glenn Thompson of Bellefonte has announced he has prostate cancer. He's 64 years old. In a post on X, he said, after a routine physical and subsequent tests, I was recently diagnosed with prostate cancer. While this diagnosis is a surprise, I feel well, and I will continue my work representing the people of Pennsylvania's 15th district. Access to affordable health care continues to expand here in Center County. The Center Volunteers in Medicine just started its new Friends and Family campaign. Through community support and donations, they plan to raise funds for the county's only free health clinic. CVIM has been providing care for 20 years.
And police are hoping the public can help them identify suspects in a credit card fraud case in State College. Police say these people are suspected of stealing credit cards from victims who were working or shopping at the Nittany Mall. They say the suspects then used the cards to make fraudulent purchases at local stores, pharmacies, and gas stations. If you know who they are, call State College Police. And a lawsuit against the State College Area School District can now move forward. A federal judge has rejected the district's request to throw out a lawsuit alleging it discriminates by not allowing parochial school students in its extracurricular activities. The district has until December 15th to respond.
Also in State College, the Borough Council has approved a budget increase. It's for community grants and civic celebrations. The budget will see a $100,000 increase and a total of more than $86 million. The budget will be adopted during the council's December 18th meeting. And State College has a financial plan to help local small businesses downtown keep up appearances. Reporter Scott Strandix has the story.
The downtown area is home to over 350 businesses. Many of these local staples boast several decades of operation, but that time takes its toll on these stores and their presentation. The Downtown State College Improvement District has been leaning into the giving season with complimentary bus tokens, gift card giveaways, and a new grant program for the local businesses to take place in the new year. Executive Director Leanne Jeffries leads the discussion on how this program will help give back to the businesses that keep the Valley happy.
It's something we've been talking about for a while, and so any way that we can support our businesses, that's our role here. So
The DSCID will be putting leftover funds from the pandemic towards local businesses matching investments of up to $5,000 in capital projects.
You know, this is a pilot program, so we would love to have it return.
Regardless, the many business owners are pleased to know they've got some help with giving their shops a facelift.
I think there's some areas downtown that could use, some help.
Jeff Brugler, owner of Appalachian Outdoors, has renovation plans ready.
We could use new awnings for the front of the store and a new front sign.
And Douglas Albert, owner of his namesake art gallery, knows the power of good looks.
And if all the stores are as attractive as they possibly can be, that will help business for everybody.
Because at the end of the day, the goal is the same.
I just think that people should shop local and support local business.
Shopping small in State College, I'm Scott Stranix for the Center County Report.
The grant aims to distribute $50,000 to local businesses. Applications open early next year.
Well, one local business is permanently closing next week after just 8 months in operation. The Up and Away Cafe inside the State College Airport will close next Friday, according to a post on its Facebook page. The owners say less flights in and out of the airport hurt their business.
From the airport to local buses, the new Cata Go app releases today. The Center Area Transportation Authority says it wants to provide real-time information on wait times and improve the overall riding experience. The app will still feature route maps, service alerts, trip reservations, and more. While Cata is improving its app, it's struggling with having enough bus drivers. Starting January 8th, fixed routes and microtransit services will be adjusted because of the driver shortage. Here are those 6 routes that'll be affected. Cata says while the shortage poses a challenge, it's an opportunity to optimize services and efficiency.
Well, you're going to see some old-time transportation on the streets of Bellefonte this weekend, horse-drawn carriages. They're part of this year's Victorian Christmas celebration that begins tonight. Reporter Savannah Wood is live in Bellefonte with more on this popular event. Savannah, can you tell me a little bit more about where you are?
I am live in the heart of Bellefonte for the 42nd annual Bellefonte Victorian Christmas. It kicks off with the Festival of Trees and an opening ceremony tonight at 6. It's a little something fun for everyone. In a big red barn in rural Tyrone, 8 black gelding horses call this home. They spend their time on Springmount farms eating, playing, and pulling carriages, always on their best behavior. Coachman David Hershey drives a team of horses, guiding a carriage for this weekend's Bellefonte Victorian Christmas. This will be the 25th year for Hershey and his team. Phil Breddenball is the co-chair of the annual holiday event in Bellefonte and says the horse-drawn rides are among the most popular attractions.
The carriage rides, we have horse-drawn carriage rides, very popular, sold out already.
Sometimes people don't even necessarily need a ride, they just want to pose in front of the horses and get their picture taken.
Hershey's carriage rides are so special, they even have girlfriends becoming fiancés by the time they get around the route.
We've had some that got proposed to, and then 2 years later, they asked us to do their wedding. And so then we were part of it the second time.
Breddenball says they begin planning in May for the Victorian Christmas weekend, which draws thousands of visitors each year. It kicks off this afternoon and goes all weekend. Events range from breakfast with Santa to music concerts, a holiday cookie crawl, to an all-new Christmas train and village model in Bell Mercantile on Spring Street.
Hey, I know some of you guys will be studying for finals week, but if you need a break, come over and stroll around.
The holiday weekend of fun will end sadly on Sunday, but the final event is a Christmas concert at St. John's Church. Live in Bellefonte, I'm Savannah Wood. Now back to you guys.
Man, Savannah looked like she was having a lot of fun with those horses. Thank you so much, Savannah. Well, it sure has felt like Christmas outside this week, but our weather may just be warming up. We have some details coming up in the 7-day forecast.
Plus, a couple of road and traffic updates to look out for. Also coming up, doggy de-stress. See how some cute dogs are helping college students during one of the more stressful times of the school year. PennDOT is closing a central PA bridge for repair starting next week. The bridge across Chest Creek along 5 Point Road in Clearfield County will close on Monday. It'll be shut down into mid-January while crews repair steel beams. This is one of the bridges rated as poor on the state's list. A detour will take drivers onto Route 36, Bridge Street, and Ridge Road. And nearly 4 months after a sinkhole closed part of the Eisenhower parking deck on Penn State's University Park campus, more work is on the way. Crews will be making repairs and taking steps to make sure the deck is safe from winter snow buildup. There will be some partial closures throughout this month as that work goes on.
In the spirit of giving this holiday season, Center County's YMCA held a polar plunge to raise money for a good cause. One of those taking part was a Penn State professor from the Bellefonte College of Communications. Matt Jackson plunged into freezing waters to raise money for the community during the event at Black Moshannon Lake. The water rose around 30 degrees. Geez, that's cold. Jackson raised almost $500. His total contributed to more than $36,000 raised for the county's YMCA program.
The most important part was the money. The why, really, they've got childcare for single parents. They have all sorts of strength building and exercise for seniors. So the Y, I think, is a really important institution within the community that supports the community.
Fair weather for now, but things will change as we get into the second half of our weekend. Behind me is the live cam of the Penn State Golf Course. Blue skies and plenty of clouds in the sky, making for a perfect afternoon tee time. Current conditions are around 43 degrees and sunny, winds remaining calm as we go into this afternoon. Looking at our satellite and radar imagery from this morning to current, we can see those clouds diminishing as they push across the state and out over to the Atlantic. But if we zoom out further, we can see our weather maker for the weekend. Over big low pressure system over the Dakotas and into Minnesota. We can then see it pushing its way over the next couple of days over the Great Lakes. It'll be gathering moisture from the Gulf, and that will really send us quite the system for Sunday. As we look at current temperatures, we can see we're right now staying around the lower 40s. Johnstown and Altoona just above in the low 50s. But zooming out over the whole state, we can see generally the warm front and is pushing across from west to east as the west coast of the state is in those 50s, 56 in Pittsburgh, 52 in Erie. Meanwhile, the eastern half of the state is still just getting out of those 45-degree marks. Now looking at the change, because this is quite different from yesterday. Overall, across the entire state, we are almost 10 degrees warmer than we were yesterday. This is due to that warm front that's coming across, bringing with it warmer air for the state. Now, as we look into our futurecast, we can see that southerly flow for those temperatures on the rise as we get into the afternoon. Clicking through into Saturday morning, we see similar temperatures, but much more cloud coverage. And as we keep moving forward, by Sunday, we see that soaker come through and cover the state with showers. As we go to Sunday evening, we see a story of two different sides. We have warmer temperatures on the East Coast and severe showers along the Southeast region. Colder temperatures in the 20s below freezing and lots of snow headed our way Sunday night. That'll stick through the evening hours and be flakes and flurries by Monday morning. Here's our forecast for today. We have 51 and sunny for today. Southerly winds bringing in some clouds for tonight with a low of 34 degrees. And as we go into tomorrow, similar story, just with some more cloud coverage. Putting this all together in our 7-day forecast, we can see that once that storm hits and is out of our way, temperatures start to drop, but leave us with fair conditions, perfect for any final studying that might be headed our way.
Feels like we're in such like a wild weather time right now, because I remember just 3 or 4 days ago it was flurrying and snowing. Now we're getting a bunch of rain. We got this nice sunny day today. I don't know. I'm waiting now for the winter wonderland white Christmas time of year at this point.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, we have not had a white Christmas where I'm from in a very, very long time. I am from South Jersey. Doesn't happen too often. I don't know if you know any weather about South Jersey coming up, but I don't think we're going to be getting a white Christmas any soon. With that, we're going to send it over to our sports anchor, Destiny Sanchez. Destiny.
Big sports news today. Another Penn State football coach is leaving. We have the latest information. Also coming up, after a split against a top 10 team, Penn State hockey goes on the road this weekend against another top 10 Big Ten opponent. Sports is next. I'm Destiny Sanchez with sports. There's more big news for Penn State football today. It's official. Defensive coordinator Manny Diaz is leaving for a head coaching job. Today, Coach James Franklin called him a tremendous teacher, mentor, and friend. Alex Rocco has more on this major change.
After 2 years in Happy Valley, defensive coordinator Manny Diaz is moving on. He's been hired as the new head coach at Duke. At Penn State, he was a two-time Broyles Award semifinalist, which is given annually to the nation's top assistant coach. Diaz elevated the Nittany Lion defense to new heights during his time here and drew praise from Coach James Franklin.
And then I think he's just done a really good job of teaching and promoting standards of what the standards of the Penn State defense are all about.
In his 2 seasons at Penn State, the Nittany Lions tallied 91 sacks, which ranks top 5 in the nation, and it finished first in pass breakups with 85 just a year ago. But the Diaz defense took a leap in 2023 as they allowed the fewest yards per game with 223 and ranked 3rd in scoring defense, allowing 11.4 points per game. Diaz's swarming defensive scheme allowed Penn State to limit opponents' rushing games as teams average less than 70 yards on the ground, the second fewest in the country. All Penn State writer Max Ralph noted the decision to leave could cause several Nittany Lions to enter the transfer portal.
I think it's possible that some players leave and follow Manny Diaz because they all love him so much. I mean, anytime you ask a defensive player about Manny Diaz, it's always glowing reviews.
After hiring a new offensive coordinator just days ago, Franklin will now be on the hunt to find his new defensive coordinator. In University Park, I'm Alex Rocco for the Center County Report.
The Nittany Lions haven't played a game in 2 weeks, but December is one of the busiest months of the year for the team and coaching staff. Coaches leaving, new hires, recruiting, the portal, and bowl game preps. There's a lot going on.
For a team that hasn't played since this win against Michigan in November, December is a very busy month for the Nittany Lions. Preparations are underway for the Peach Bowl. Penn State will face Ole Miss in Atlanta on December 30th. The Lions have a chance to become the only team to ever win all of the New Year's 6 bowl games. It's also a time of transition. Penn State has a new offensive coordinator, Andy Kotelnicki from Kansas. But he won't be calling plays yet. 2 assistants will handle that for the bowl game.
We'll keep things structured the way they have been for the last 2 games of the season.
Also this month, the transfer portal is open until January 2nd. So far, punter Alex Pachetta, wide receiver Christian Driver, and cornerback Jace Tutty have entered the portal. Star defensive end Chop Robinson plans to enter the NFL draft and will skip the Peach Bowl to start preparing. Coach James Franklin says it is an important time for recruiting and navigating the portal, and the early signing day is coming fast too. That's on December 20th.
You better be bringing in players, whether it's from high school or from the transfer portal, that are going to allow you to keep growing and developing as a program and as an organization for the future.
A constant battle of players coming and going in the new age of college football.
The Peach Bowl kicks off at noon on December 30th. We'll have a broadcast team there in Atlanta for the game, and you can listen live on Penn State Com Radio. The top wrestling team in the nation is back and hasn't missed a beat. The defending national champion Nittany Lions beat Lehigh 30-10 on Sunday in their season opener. Penn State returns to Rec Hall again this Sunday when they host Hofstra. After that, it's holiday break and then a trip to Oregon State in January. Penn State hockey is back in action tonight. They're in Wisconsin for a 2-game series against the number 6 ranked Badgers. The Nittany Lions are coming off a split last weekend against number 7 Minnesota. They won 6-3 after a Friday night loss at Pagula Ice Arena. The women's team faces Yale at home tonight and tomorrow. They're coming off a sweep against Robert Morris. Now to basketball, the Nittany Lions will try to break a 5-game losing streak tomorrow against Ohio State. They're back at home for the first time since last weekend's upset loss to Bucknell. That was followed by an overtime loss on Wednesday in the Big Ten opener at Maryland. The Lady Lions are on the road this weekend to play at Ohio State. They're coming off a loss at West Virginia this week, but they're still 7-2 on the season. And the Penn State women's volleyball team unfortunately ended their tournament run. They lost to Wisconsin 3-1. It's been such a great run for that women's team.
Yeah, amazing run for that team. I was at the hockey game Saturday night. Great win for them as well. Electric atmosphere too.
Yeah, not only a lot happening with the local sports, but also in the national sports world. Tomorrow, the Army-Navy game. You saw me and our director, Steve Krasa, talking about it. We're both rooting for the midshipmen, hoping for a win tomorrow. So we're going to see how that goes. Destiny Sanchez, thank you so much for that sports update. Coming up next, finals week is here for Penn State students. Take a look at how some puppy love is getting students through their studying.
Finals week on a college campus often brings lots of stress and anxiety for students, but a few furry friends are making sure everybody gets a chance to relax on the Penn State campus heading into finals.
Amid the chaos of finals week, a few pups brought some comfort and relaxation to the hub at Penn State. Dogs from the United Disabilities Service Dog Ambassador Program stopped by, available for any students who needed to de-stress, courtesy of the Student Programming Association.
Like, this week has been super stressful, so dogs are amazing, and so I wanted to come see them.
All the dogs here are trained to help those with mobility issues, children with autism, and veterans with PTSD. But this week, they were there for the students.
There's something about putting your fingers into dog fur that the stress and the anxiety just leaches out of your fingers and straight into the dog. And there's a healing therapeutic touch to dog kisses as well.
Jennifer King is a member of the ambassador team and handles 18-month-old black lab Clover. She provided her signature hugs, friendly demeanor, and lots of kisses to everyone who paid her a visit. King hopes students left the event relaxed and they know that it'll all turn out all right.
It's going to be okay. Just leave it at the door. And then as they go back out, they can remember the feelings of being just like, you know what, when I was with that dog, I just felt a lot better. And just to breathe.
All 6 dogs received lots of love and treats in payment for their services.
I'll tell you, it was such a nice time spending my day with those dogs, and a great de-stress event too.
They looked so cute. I am so jealous of you. I wanted a dog for basically my whole life, and the fact that you got to hang out with all of them, and they just looked like they were having such a good time.
And there were 6 of them.
Yeah, and I think that's like the perfect de-stress thing for like around finals time nowadays.
Absolutely.
All right, that's going to wrap up today's newscast, which is actually our final broadcast of the semester. But we will be back in January with a brand new team.
But you can still follow us anytime for our breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a great holiday season.